morning teachers, morning parents, and other guests. Welcome to the Welcome Back opening assembly of the school year 2017-2018. Would you please rise as Piper Nick Knowles will lead our grade 12 graduating class and their kindergarten buddies into this morning's assembly. Please rise. Thank you. Please remain standing for the national anthem, followed by the school song.
You
Thank you. Please be seated.
So good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's assembly. Particularly warm welcome to you if you are new to Mulgrave. If you are a new student, a new teacher, or if you are a new parent. Welcome to our beginning of year assembly. And once again, we've been very lucky with the weather to be out here on the field for our start of year assembly. I'd also like to welcome some of the Mulgrave board members who've come here this morning. Gopi Chandni, Elaine Shepherd, Alan Joanno, Malek Talib. You're very welcome. You do fantastic work for our school. Before we start our assembly, it is very important to acknowledge that we are now sitting on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish peoples, especially the lands of the First Nation and Tsleil-Waututh nations. These lands are unceded, which means that they were taken from the indigenous peoples by the settlers who came here 150 years ago. So these lands rightly belong to the indigenous peoples. But as we know across Canada, the indigenous peoples' lands have been taken in many, many cases. And that's something that is an important part of our education. And as we begin to learn the truth about the things that have happened in our past history, we need to learn to be able to reconcile those things and to try to make amends. This morning's assembly is about welcoming new people. It's about building new relationships and friendships. It's about how we introduce ourselves and connect with other people. And to start this morning's assembly, I'd like to introduce to you a new member of staff. That new member of staff is the principal of the senior school, Dr. Chiara Tabet. Chiara, you're very welcome. Please give her a round of applause.
Hi everybody, my name is Chiara, and I've said this in many different countries and in many different languages throughout my lifetime. Bonjour, my name is Chiara. Buongiorno, mi chiamo Chiara. Marhaban, اسمي Chiara. And every time I've said it, in every one of the communities I joined, it was exciting. I felt a little bit like an explorer, sort of waiting to discover new, exciting and wonderful things about the people I was introducing myself to. And every time we introduce ourselves to new friends, something very ordinary happens. I'm sure it's happened to all of us. Hello, my name is Chiara, and then the other person says, hi Chiara, nice to meet you. Or maybe the day after, good to see you again. Sometimes, not always, but quite often that happens. Or how are you doing, Chiara? All of a sudden, this is very ordinary, it's happened to all of us, that all of a sudden, the people we have just met start saying our name. And I think out of this very, very ordinary event, an incredible, extraordinary event is generated. And that event consists in us starting to feel less like explorers and more like we belong. We're acknowledged as members of our community. And I think this is what our names do. They're very much like doors to new homes. Homes that we build and that we share with each other. And all this just by saying, hello, my name is Chiara, and what is yours? Thank you very much. Здравствуйте, меня зовут Висока. Это мой первый день здесь, а я никого не знаю. Как вас не понимать? Привет, меня зовут Висока. Как тебя зовут?
ببخشید من نمیفهمم شاید اونا بدونن
Я не понимаю, ничего. А тебя, как тебя зовут? Зовут Висока?
No entiendo lo que me estás diciendo.
Не понимаешь по-русски, нет?
No, solo hablo español, perdón.
Ничего не понимаю. Извини. А тебя? Как тебя зовут?
ببخشید و زبانی که شما گپ میزنید و بلدیت ندارم میخوام از اونا بپرسین شاید اونا بفهمن
Хорошо. Хорошо. Как вас зовут? Это мой первый день здесь. Ничего.
Yo también solo hablo español.
Что? Тебя? Меня зовут Висока. Очень приятно. О, это ужасно.
Hey guys, why are you not speaking in English?
Oh. Hi, my name is Vисоka. Nice to meet you.
I'm Sebastian. I'm Sam.
Joanna.
It all goes better when we can communicate with each other. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. My name is Megan Collins, and I have the honor of being a member of the Mulgrave community in my role as school counselor. In my position, I have the wonderful privilege of getting to know students, families, and faculty across all divisions. I'm beginning my 9th year at Mulgrave, and I've formed so many meaningful relationships throughout my time here. I am grateful for these connections with all of you. When I was approached to say a few words at our assembly this morning, my initial reaction was one of sheer panic. My immediate thought was, no way. Standing and speaking in front of hundreds of people is definitely outside of my comfort zone. I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of person. Yet, as I reflected on the theme, and I thought about the incredible people I've come to know here, I acknowledge that each one of these connections and friendships that I've formed at Mulgrave began with one very simple sentence. Hello. My name is Megan. So, here I am in front of all of you, drowning in my adrenaline, trying to do what I encourage my students to do all the time. Take a risk, put myself out there, and walk my talk. And I'm feeling very much what we experience when we enter a new, unfamiliar situation. Lots of apprehension and a healthy dose of fear. I believe that the simplicity of the phrase, hello, my name is, belies the power that's hidden underneath it. Introducing yourself to someone is the simplest form of etiquette, yet it is about more than just being polite and practicing good manners. This greeting is an invitation. It sets the tone for each connection we make, and each time we take the opportunity to extend ourselves to someone new, we are creating a moment of hope and possibility. By introducing ourselves, We are recognizing that the individual is worthy of our attention. We're inviting a connection, and we are creating a space for someone to exist in our presence. We never know where this will lead. Saying hello to someone seems so simple, yet we all know that it can be extremely daunting at times. It is a risk to let our guard down. What if that person doesn't want to engage? What do they think of me? What if they don't like me? It takes courage to reach out, and of course we will have many different types of connections throughout our lives. But there is tremendous strength in making ourselves vulnerable, and the potential rewards for doing so are immense. When we take this risk, we step into an open space and say, hello. We're sending a message. We're saying, I care, I want to know more, and I see you. My belief is that loving kindness, the desire to extend care, consideration, and goodwill to each and every one we meet, is at the heart of every relationship. It is at the core of a warm and caring community, and it is the only antidote to hate and indifference. And our world certainly needs this more now than ever. So, as we start the new school year, I invite you to introduce yourself to someone. Share your name. Listen and learn more. Because when you do, you're sending a very powerful message. You're saying that the individual in that exchange matters, that indeed you matter, and that each of us has dignity and worth. And when in doubt, a smile goes a long way. So, happy beginnings, and I wish all the best to all of you for the new school year.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who haven't met us, my name is Lauren and this is Aiden, and we are very excited to serve as Mulgrave's head boy and head girl for this year.
As you all know, this assembly is based on the idea of introducing yourself to others and the value that comes from it. And the two of us just briefly wanted to touch on what that idea really means to us.
Aiden and I have been at Mulgrave for quite a while now, and over these years we've met more amazing people than we can count. People who have opened our minds to new ideas and new perspectives that we would have never considered on our own.
And honestly, of all the things that Mulgrave has done for us, I think this is perhaps the thing we are most grateful for. Now, admittedly, many of our memories from junior school are a little hazy, but one thing we remember very clearly is what it felt like to meet all these new faces all at once. It was intimidating. Just as you would expect, given that most of the people we were meeting were 3 feet taller than us and their voices were 4 times deeper.
But it was also the most wonderful feeling to have someone you've never met before and who seemingly had no idea who you were come up to you and just say, hi. I definitely remember when my grade 12 buddies first said that to me. See, when I was in kindergarten, I had 2 buddies, which made me feel like the luckiest person in the whole world. Here was not 1, but 2 people more than a decade older than me, and yet they genuinely wanted to hang out. They were interested in how my week was, and they were excited to see me at our get-togethers.
And that was the beginning of a very important lesson for us, a lesson that we would continue to learn right up to this day. Without even realizing it, we were learning to approach new people and their differences with open minds and curiosity rather than with reservation and fear. Without that lifelong skill, I wouldn't have so many of these amazing friendships that I have today, just because I took a risk and put myself out there.
For that, Aiden and I are forever grateful, because we know that when we leave here finally at our home, we won't be afraid to go up to people and introduce ourselves. Because when you tell someone your name, they're bound to tell you theirs right after, and that small exchange can be the opening to a lifelong friendship you would have never had before.
So, with that said, Lauren and I hope that we can keep this lesson alive at Mulgrave, and we hope that everyone in this room knows how much we appreciate the chance to get to know you.
Whether we're in the halls, the cafeteria, or even passing by on the street, please come say hi. Honestly, anytime you'd like, you're welcome to come and start a conversation with us.
And it looks like there might be someone who wants to come say hi.
Oh my gosh.
Do you? What if I came and said hi to you?
Take that risk, Aiden.
I'm kind of scared.
Hello.
What's your name?
Ethan,
Hi, Ethan. What grade are you in?
kindergarten.
How are you feeling about it?
Good.
Yeah? What are you most excited about for this year?
With my friends.
Being with your friends? That's awesome. So, if you see us in the hallway or if we see you, can we come and say hi?
Yeah.
Promise?
Yeah.
Double promise?
Yeah.
Pinky promise?
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks for taking that risk with us, Ethan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Who wants the mic now? Oh, the best.
Thank you very much, Lauren and Aidan. I'd now like to invite Sandy and Liliana Belek to perform for us. Wherever you are, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nicola Reed, and I'd like to talk to you this morning about one name we can all identify with, and that's the name Mulgrave. We're all familiar with it. We know what it means to us, but what do we really know about the name Mulgrave? When I was hired to teach at Mulgrave School in September 1994, none of you students were born. Some of your teachers were in elementary school. But that year was not only important to me, and you'll soon see why. In 1994, Mulgrave School was just beginning, but the name Mulgrave was already an important one in history, both in Vancouver and beyond. If you've ever driven up Haddon Drive in the British properties, you'll have noticed Mulgrave Place, which is right next door to where Mulgrave School began. That was a one-room portable classroom behind West Vancouver Baptist Church. And when our school song talks about simple beginnings, that's what it means. A bit further up in the British properties, you will see Normanby Crescent. And those two names, Mulgrave and Normanby, are connected, so just hold on for those for a moment. Let's go way, way, way back now, because in October 1931, that actually was before I was born, West Vancouver agreed to sell 4,000 acres of mountainside to a syndicate called the British Pacific Properties. That syndicate was controlled by the Guinness family. That will be familiar to some of you out there. And Grania Guinness was married to the Earl of Mulgrave. Oswald Phipps, his name. He was the fourth Marquis of Normanby. The Phipps family live in Mulgrave Castle in North Yorkshire, and there has been a Mulgrave Castle on that site since the 6th century, so a long, long time. The name Mulgrave has history. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Oswald Phipps. He was a remarkable man, and he is one who embodies so many qualities that we value in our school. In 1940, he was captured at the Battle of Dunkirk, and he was a prisoner of war. During his captivity, he persuaded his captors to allow him to teach Braille to a group of prisoners who had been blinded in action. This was quite ambitious because he didn't know anything about Braille. But with the help of a Larousse dictionary, he constructed a Braille alphabet with match heads stuck into cardboard, and he taught them to read. Later he said he was the only man in the world who could read an embossed type for the blind only by sight and only upside down. In recognition of those independent efforts, he was awarded an MBE in recognition of his work for leading the prisoners of war. And for the rest of his life, he was a philanthropist for causes in education, in nursing, and for the blind. The name Mulgrave has compassion. This great man died in 1994, the year I began to work at Mulgrave, and he was succeeded by his son, Constantine Phipps, who was an author, poet, entrepreneur, and still very much involved in the British properties. He's visited our school twice. His name, Constantine, is shared with our junior school mascot, Constantine the Bear, who is seen at junior school every Friday when the house points are announced. The current Earl of Mulgrave is Oswald Phipps' grandson, John Samuel Constantine Phipps, who was born in 1994. Next time you say the name of our school, know that it has heritage, a connection to education, a connection to service. But just as important, it has been, as what it has been, is the potential of what it can be, the path that leads ahead. And that's all about you. Each day you make Mulgrave yours, and the next story is yours to write. Thank you.
One of the things that we're so proud of at Mulgrave is the sense of community. And when our students graduate, as our 2018 class will do in a few months' time, we hope that they will keep in contact with us as a school. And since 2004, we have many alumni are regularly in contact with our school. Today, on the end of the telephone, we have Matthew Cullen from the graduate 2008, and I'd like to invite Luke Siebold to have a conversation over the telephone with Matthew Cullen.
Hi everyone, I'm Luke Siebold. Hey there, Matt. My name is Luke Siebold, and I'm a grade 12 senior prefect here at Mulgrave. How's it going?
Hi, Luke. How are you? I'm doing great, and hello to all listening at Mulgrave. My name is Matt Cullen, and I'm a Mulgrave alumni from the graduating class of 2008.
How's it going, Matt? I was wondering if you'd
Doing great today. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I was wondering if you'd tell us a little bit about what you've been up to since graduating.
Well, a few things, Luke, but I first attended St. Francis Xavier University, and for those of you that don't know, it's in a small town called Antigonish, Nova Scotia. It's outside of Halifax. I really enjoyed the school. It's always in the top ranks of the undergraduate programs in Canada, and similarly to Mulgrave, I really felt that people really cared about me there. So maybe some of you in grade 12 that can relate to this, but at the time I had no idea what I wanted to study, so I chose what I liked in Mulgrave, which was history and French. So after a few years at Thin Effects, I was able to spend my third year in France because I was doing a minor in French. And I highly recommend this to anybody that's listening. It's this opportunity opened many doors in my professional career down the road, which I'll get to a little bit later, I can imagine. And now I live in Toronto. A few years later, I began to study journalism here, and currently I work as a sports reporter and a commentator at the CBC. And the CBC, of course, is a bilingual company, which is where the language skills I learned from France come in. And sports has always been my passion. I'm sure some of the teachers that taught me can relate to that.
Awesome, that's really cool. Could you tell us a little bit about what kind of things you learned at Mulgrave that you use in your work today?
Well, there are many things, Luke, and I was thinking about this earlier about which one I should focus on. But I think the most important thing I learned at Mulgrave and through the International Baccalaureate program was how to manage my time. And that skill has been really important to me, not only in the university career that I work in now. I have to admit it. Some of the teachers may not like this, but I was famous for staying up late on that last day trying to finish homework or trying to finish an essay. At the university, in your career where you have a big workload and also in people that you have to meet deadlines with, this strategy just doesn't make you look professional, and nor does it make you look that reliable. Your name is a brand, really, in your professional career, and I'm very grateful to some of the teachers at Mulgrave who helped me learn and improve this. I'm sure it wasn't an easy process for them.
Well, that's really helpful, thanks. When was the last time that you visited Mulgrave?
Well, I don't get to go back too often anymore since I live in Toronto, but my last visit was over Thanksgiving weekend of last year, and I think it's really important to maintain relationships and visit the people who helped me get to where I am today, and I'm looking forward to coming back soon. Maybe I can negotiate a Christmas time visit while you're still in school.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've been at a couple schools before I came to Mulgrave. I was actually in Toronto as well, and then Hong Kong, so I can really speak for what kind of a special community that we have here. And I was wondering, what really made the community so special to you?
A lot of things, and I think the thing that I value most about Mulgrave was about establishing and maintaining relationships. Mulgrave is a great network of people that are at your fingertips that can help you with life during grade 12, during grade 11, or wherever grade you're in, and even life after Mulgrave. The teachers there care and they have their best interest, your best interest at heart, even after you graduate. And these people and these relationships are the most important to me. And in June 2018, some of you will be graduating, but for me, it will be 10 years since I graduated from Mulgrave, and I still would really like to keep in touch, and I always ask for advice from people that help me succeed. And Reaching out to people that have had success in your dream career is very important as well. I learned that at Mulgrave. So that goes for you, Luke, and to all listening. My door is always open for anyone who'd like to reach out for any advice going forward.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, and I really hope that I can reach out to you at some point in the future for any kind of support.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to, and for all listening. And best of luck to all of you going forward this important year for you.
Thanks again so much.
Thank you very much, Luke. At the beginning, we said this morning's assembly was about making friendships and making connections. Well, let's try and put some of that into practice. Grade 10 and 11, would you stand up, please? Grade 3 and 4, would you turn up? Would you stand up? Grade 3 and 4, will you stand up? Okay. So grade 10 and 11, would you turn around and face the grade 3 and 4 students? Some of you may be talking one-to-one, some of you may be talking in just 1-to-2. So, grade 10 and 11 students, and grade 3 or 4 students, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to tell each other what you enjoy most about Mulgrave, and I'd also like you to tell each other what's the best thing that you do outside of school. Off you go. Grade 5 and 6 students, stand up please. And grade 1 and 2 students, stand up. Okay, grade 5 and 6 students, would you lead that conversation please? Introduce yourselves. Grade 5 and 6 students, you take charge please of this conversation. The staff, would you stand up please? Grade 7, 8, 9, would you stand up please and face the staff? Okay, staff, would you lead that conversation please with the students in front of you? Grade 12, I hope you're leading that conversation with your kindergarten buddies on the ground. Okay, and stop please. Here's where it gets complicated. Listen carefully. Grade 7, 8 and 9 students, would you move 10 people to your right? 10 people to your right. Move around. We're moving around in a clockwise direction. Clockwise direction to your right. Move 10 people around, please. Grade 10 and 11. Would you move 10 people in a clockwise direction, please? Move around. Grade 3 and 4, stand still. Grade 5 and 6, would you please move 10 people to your right in a clockwise direction. Move that way, please. 10 people. Grade 1 and 2, stand still. When you move 10 places, would you have the same conversation with the people in front of you? Say hello to people on the way. Okay, thank you very much. Please sit down, everybody. Please sit down. Okay, we've had some great advice in this assembly. It's easy to say, my name is. Please make sure you welcome our new students and new teachers. Please make all the effort to smile and to welcome people. We're now going to say farewell. We're now going to say farewell from this assembly to our graduating class of 2030 and our graduating class of 2018. So, grade 12s and kindergarten class, would you please stand? The rest of us will remain seated. While our Piper McNeils leads off the graduating classes of 2018 to 2030. Thank you, Nick.